Boom! Greetings, fellow nerds. My name's David from Studio 64, and I've been searching the interzones for more science, space, and tech news to share with you. And I came across this over at phys.org. Yes, this should be really interesting. Mars-bound payload on its way to Florida for first launch of Blue Origin New Glenn. Very, very good indeed. Yes, the Mars-bound twin spacecraft for NASA's Escapade mission were packed up in California to be shipped out to Florida this week, ahead of what would be the first ever launch of Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket from Cape Canaveral. Excellent. Escapade stands for Escape and Plasma Acceleration and Dynamics Explorers, and the mission's purpose is to orbit Mars and observe plasma and magnetic fields around the planet to help understand what processes strip atoms from Mars's magnetosphere and upper atmosphere. That could help explain why Mars's atmosphere is so thin and how it may have evolved over time. That will be interesting too, because we could compare that to Earth. And see, hopefully ours doesn't do that. But this should be very, very interesting. Now, the two small satellites, dubbed Blue and Gold, were built by Rocket Lab in California for NASA and the University of California, Berkeley's Space Science Laboratory. Now, as usual, I'll leave the link to the main article below the video, so you can pop in, check out the embedded links, go for a bit of a deeper dive if you like. Makes for a very interesting read, believe me. Yes, they will soon arrive at Kennedy Space Center, where they will head to a clean room for post-transport inspections and tests. Eventually, they'll be encapsulated for launch on New Glenn from Blue Origin's pad at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station's Launch Complex 36, something Blue Origin officials state will happen before the end of the year. Rocket Lab is most known for its small launch vehicle activity, second only to SpaceX in recent years, for a number of launches, mostly from New Zealand, from whence its co-founder and CEO Peter Beck hails. Rocket Lab notably successfully launched the capstone mission for NASA to prove future spacecraft such as Artemis mission, Orion capsules, and could enter a unique type of orbit around the moon. Yes, we've already been to the moon for NASA, so we're excited to build on that and send Rocket Lab technology deeper into the solar system, this time to the Red Planet, said Beck in a press release. Our space systems team has built a beautiful and highly capable pair of spacecraft to help NASA and the University of California, Berkeley, further humanity's understanding of Mars. That's absolutely amazing. Love that stuff. Yeah. Anything we can do to sort of, anything that we can do to, further our knowledge of space is absolutely incredible. Yeah, I always have a bit of a chuckle at, interesting the flat Earth theory. Why is Earth the only flat planet in the solar system? Yeah. Yes, the moon looks pretty square to me. Interesting. It won the design subcontract for the two satellites using the company's Photon spacecraft in 2021 as part of NASA's Small Innovative Missions for Planetary Exploration, or SIMPLEX, program with sounds like a venereal disease, doesn't it? Program from NASA's Science Mission Directorate. The pair have an 11-month trip to Mars after launch and will enter elliptical orbits for the 1-year planetary science mission. Yeah, space conspiracies interest me, actually. The argument over whether man went to the moon or not. Yes, we definitely did, but there's always a third option with these conspiracies. The first one was we never went to the moon, and the film was made by Stanley Kubrick. The second one was we went to the moon and it's as simple as it seems, and what we saw is what we got. I think there's a third option, that we went to the moon and yet the film was made that we saw in 1969 was made by Stanley Kubrick. And people go, well, that doesn't make sense, David. And I said, well, it was right in the middle of the Cold War with the Soviet Union. That's Russia, basically. And it was a war of propaganda. So the film that was broadcast to the world, I have, again, can't prove it, just my little theory and opinion, of course, that we went to the moon, but what we actually saw and did up there was classified. So, I mean, people say that doesn't make sense, but then again, what does? There's a lot of things in this world and out of this world that don't make sense. So let's not show everybody what we actually did see on the moon, but let them know that we did. Yeah, interesting stuff. Again, love to hear your thoughts on this down in the comments. Rocket Lab performed assembly, integration, and testing at its spacecraft production complex and headquarters in Long Beach, California. Now, Rob Lillis, Escapade's principal investigator and associate director for planetary science at the UC Berkeley Space Sciences Laboratory, praised the efforts by Rocket Lab over the last 3 years to keep the mission on target for its launch window opportunity. Yes, the successful delivery of the spacecraft to Kennedy Space Center marks a significant milestone, the culmination of over 3 years of dedicated teamwork from individuals across the project, especially our partners at Rocket Lab, he said. Interplanetary spacecraft must be much more resilient than Earth satellites, and developing not one but two of these probes almost from scratch was no small feat. Yeah, in 3 years. That's pretty cool. Boeing could take a leaf out of SpaceX's book and Rocket Lab's book, believe me. Yeah. In how many years? And the Star Lemon's still up there. I know it's a different kind of spacecraft, but the work ethic and the quality control must be a hell of a lot better. We saw it with, I think it was General Dynamics. They built a rover to go to the moon. Prior, it was to support the Artemis missions with our return to the moon. Well, that's had to be scrapped. It apparently was over budget and wasn't working. It's fascinating. I mean, American taxpayers must be so peed off. I mean, look at what bloody twice as much money as bloody Elon Musk and SpaceX. It looks like he's going to go after rescue the Star Lemon. Absolutely blows me away. As I've said before in previous videos, would it be entertaining if NASA went, it's a bit awkward. Pooty Poots, can you come and help us out here with the Soyuz capsule? Oh! Fascinating. Well, to get to Mars, though, it needs Jeff Bezos' new heavy lift rocket to work on its first try after NASA awarded Blue Origin the launch task order worth $20 million. That's actually not a lot of money for this sort of thing, is it really? Anyway, its launch window begins in September and runs into October. The Escapade website has September 29 as a placeholder launch date. Very, very interesting indeed, and that will be something definitely to look forward to, and like to be able to be great if we can keep up on that news story. I'll keep an eye out for it. Absolutely fascinating. Yeah. Amazing stuff. All right, well, my name is David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News update. I shall see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video because I'd love to hear what you think. All right, take care, and as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And if you like, join us this Saturday. I'm going to be going live with more space, science and tech news stories. From 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on the Saturday, which I believe is Friday in the United States, about 7 p.m. I think, West Coast time, I believe. Still trying to work all this stuff out, but anyway, timing wise. But if there's any news stories you'd like me to cover, please, definitely send a link via the email that's available in the description below the video, or just pop a little note in the description underneath this video or any other one. And definitely you'll get a shout out for it. It'd be fantastic. And as I also like to say, bye.